gods, or who are some Greek gods that you already know? Sailor.
Zeus.
Zeus, okay. MJ. Say it again. Poseidon, okay. Kaylee. Hades. Any more? Name more?
God.
God. Okay, great. Yes. Yes, Dominic.
I forgot it.
Oh, it's okay. Alright, so yes, y'all are right. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and then today we're going to be talking about Hercules. So let's go over a few questions. Let's review. So somebody raise your hand and tell me, what is Mount Olympus? What is Mount Olympus?
So we're gonna read that?
No, I'm reading it. What is Mount Olympus? Anybody? Anybody remember?
Nobody knows that.
A mountain?
A mountain where people do Olympics.
A mountain where people do Olympic sailor?
Where the gods live.
Yes, the gods live in Mount Olympus. Where is it? You remember this girl? Where is it?
Greece.
In Greece. You're correct. Yes, it is in Greece. Alright, so how many gods and goddesses are there? Or do we believe there are? Skylar? 12. Yes, you're correct. There are 12. Alright, and who can tell me what is a myth? What is a myth, Kennedy? Alright, somebody help her out. Kaylee? Something that is not real. So like a fictional story. That is a myth. Alright. So we're going to meet the new characters in this read aloud today. Alright, so who do we think these people are? If the title of this read aloud is Hercules, who do we think these people are? Sailor?
It's Hercules' dad and Hercules.
That's a good guess. Hercules' dad and Hercules.
Like
Anybody
that
else?
God and Jesus?
Huh?
Is that God and Jesus?
No, it's not God. Dominic?
Hercules and Jesus?
Not Hercules and Jesus, but okay. So this is actually Hercules, and I think it's pronounced. I never say it right. Is it Thesis? Deuces? Something like that. But we're just gonna say Deuces.
Okay.
Hercules and Deuces. Okay. All right. So this is Deuces and Hercules, and in this picture, this is Deuces inviting Hercules to Athens.
Oh,
All right. So this is who we're going to be talking about today. You've already heard a story about Deuces. You probably just don't remember.
What's wrong with him?
But he plays a big role in this story. You said what's wrong with him?
What's wrong with Hercules' eyes? They look a little creepy.
I don't know.
And his nose.
I don't know. I didn't draw the picture.
Is that
It is what it is. Okay.
Hercules the small one?
So,
No.
yes. Hercules, Deuces. Okay. All right. So, we're going to go over the vocabulary that is going to be talked about in this read aloud. I want you, as I am saying them, I want you to get your whiteboards and your marker. You're going to write these 3 words on your board. So, the first word is aimlessly. Aimlessly. All you have to write is the word. You don't have to write the definition, just the word. So, what it means is without purpose or without a plan. And I'm going to read the example. The prince wandered aimlessly for several years until Rapunzel found him.
What?
Aimlessly.
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel, let down your hair. Alright, so that means without purpose or without a plan. So that's the first word you have. Aimlessly.
Number 2.
Alright? So, with your group, I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'm going to give you like 60 seconds to talk about what is something you might do aimlessly, without a purpose or without a plan. Y'all go ahead and talk about it. Something you don't have a plan for. What is something you do without a plan? So I'll give you an example. Miss Holmes, sometimes when I work out, I do it without a plan. Like I just do it aimlessly. I go in there and I try to figure it out by myself. That means you don't have a plan. I didn't write it down. No purpose for it. I just did it. So what is something that you do that is without a purpose or a plan? Talk about it with your group. I'm going to call on you each in just a second. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so I'm going to start over here with this group. What is something that y'all talked about that y'all do without a purpose or a plan? Anybody?
Scoot up and move this.
What is something y'all do without a purpose or a plan? Think about sports. What is something you do? Okay, KJ.
Move the table up.
Play football.
Play football. So when you go out, well, yeah, you, but give me another example, KJ. Go to a football game. Yes, you go to a game without a purpose. Yes, Jordan. Go to the grocery store. Sometimes people do go in there aimlessly without a list. Okay, good job, Dominic.
Floss right in front of the class for Miss Neal's teaching. What?
Say it again.
Floss right in front of the class for Miss Neal's teaching.
Okay, floss. Okay, so dance without a purpose. All right. Skylar. TikToks. All right. Kennedy. Go to sleep. Kennedy says she goes to sleep without a purpose or a plan. I think that's good. Taylor. Eat cookies with your grandma. Kennedy.
Pick out shoes.
Pick out shoes. All right. So the next word is commotion. Commotion. So you're just going to write commotion. So a commotion is a noisy confusion or fuss. The example is there was quite a commotion on the playground at recess as the students ran around having fun. Commotion. Commotion. Yes, that happens all the time. So in the classroom,
I need you to hold this card.
Tyler, welcome in. All you need is your whiteboard and a marker.
And your iPad. Go to Miss Cleaver's room.
And you're going to your book. Alright, so a commotion is a noisy confusion or fuss. So sometimes in a classroom it's always a lot of commotion going on. Alright, so commotion. So look at these pictures. So it says which one of these pictures shows a lot of commotion? Zanaya.
The family hugging each other.
That's commotion. MJ? The baby's crying. Yes. That is a lot of commotion there. He looks like he's very upset, but the other baby is not as bothered.
He's like, I'm gonna.
He said, yeah, we're going to assume that the baby hit him. So, yeah, that is commotion. All right, the next word, dreadful. Dreadful. So, dreadful means terrible or extremely unpleasant. So, that means something that you just don't like to do. Like working out is dreadful for me, but I do it anyway. So, this weather is dreadful for driving. Peter explained as the heavy snow fell on the windshield. Dreadful. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do before we get into the read aloud, I want you to draw a picture of something that's dreadful. Something that's dreadful. Let me think. Something that's dreadful. What is dreadful for Miss Holmes?
You know this is home.
I just told y'all my example, working out at the gym. I'm going to draw me trying to lift weights.
You want weights?
I'm in the store.
Okay, I don't know what
This is the pounds.
to
And my little arms trying to lift these weights. And this is a short. Alright, so that's dreadful for me. Working out at the gym is dreadful. I'm trying to lift weights and that's very dreadful. Alright, so let me see. What you got, Sailor? What do you have?
It's my dog who always screams every time somebody passes by. They go, they just scream. And then
Let me see your picture. Hold up your picture. Okay. Skylar, when your nephew is crying, did you draw a picture of your nephew crying? Let me see. Okay, that's good. Neymar.
Looking at the stars.
Looking at the stars is dreadful? something she does not like to do. Dreadful. Good job, guys. All right. So, for now, you're going to put your whiteboards away. Well, you can leave them there. Put your markers on your top. And we're going to get into the story. Alright, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to get yourself together. 5, 4, 3. I'm going to have everybody's attention in 2. Everybody's going to be silent in 1. Good job. Alright, so Hercules. It's Hercules, a boy shouted. His father stopped in the middle of the plowing their field and ran in to get his son. The boy's mother, terrified at the sight of the large man, stopped her work in the field and dashed to join the rest of her family. They all rushed into their farmhouse and slammed the door. The huge muscular man had caused all this commotion. Y'all recognize that word? Commotion. He sighed and continued walking past the farm in long, powerful strides. He was used to this sort of thing, although he remembered a time when his appearance would have been a cause for joyous celebration. The man was Hercules, Midas of heroes and son of Zeus. As a baby, he once subdued or calmed 2 snakes and somewhat put in his crib. Such was his strength. He could carve a new channel in the ground to change the direction of a river or wrestle and defeat fierce beasts or monsters to save people in trouble. There was only one thing Hercules could not defeat, which was himself. That was why everyone now feared him. You see, Hercules had a temper as powerful as his muscles. When he became angry, he would strike out against whatever or whomever had angered him. Then he would feel terrible thinking, I told myself I would not let that happen again. But it was always too late for whomever he had hurt. Hercules is in exile. So look at the picture. You know the picture I showed you before? We thought that the little small guy was Hercules, but turns out this is Hercules. The bigger one is Hercules. And the other one was...
Of course it's going to be because...
Alright, so at last, the other Greeks told Hercules, you have done many great things for us, but now you are a threat of our safety. You may no longer live among us. Furthermore, anyone sheltering you, feeding you, or even speaking with you will also be forced out from among us. So Hercules, once the most beloved and admired person in the land, was forced to wander friendless and alone. They didn't like Hercules.
I like Hercules.
They did not like him. I guess he was too powerful. After a while, he no longer cared about his appearance. His hair and beard grew shaggy. His clothing became torn. If no one else cared, why should he? Food was not a problem, for he was a great hunter, but he no longer took pleasure in a hearty meal. He ate just to survive. For 3 long years, Hercules, who had the strength and courage of a lion, wandered aimlessly. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Y'all know that word, aimlessly. If he stumbled into a place where some dreadful danger threatened the people, he would take care of the problem on his own. Although no one had asked him to do so or thanked him at the end, then he would continue on his way. So I heard 2 words. Did y'all hear the 2 words that we just talked about? Which ones did y'all hear? MJ? Commotion, Zanaya. Aimlessly, Sailor. And dreadful. Good job. Alright, so we're on 784, yes. You can go back. One day, as he sat on a hillside with his back against a tree trunk, Hercules noticed a line of horsemen riding into sight. Their road passed by the foot of his hill, so they came closer. Then to Hercules, shocked the lead rider, held up his hand to halt the others, and turning his horse, started alone up the hill straight towards Hercules. As the rider came closer and closer, Hercules rose to his feet in surprise and alarm. He thought, doesn't he know what will happen to him if he approaches me? The huge man began to wave his arms and shout, go back, go back. Still in horse horsemen rode straight toward him. Now Hercules could see the rider's face, and his concern became even greater for the horseman. Was another great Grecian hero, Theseus. Then we said we're gonna say Theseus, king of Athens. The two men have become loyal friends ever since Hercules had rescued Theseus from the underworld. Now, as Theseus continued toward him, Hercules again shouted, "No, go back, go back." Remember, they were scared of Theseus, or Hercules. He thought that because he was so powerful, he would hurt everybody. So that's why he was telling him to go back. All right. All right. So, but Theseus rode straight up to Hercules, dismounted, and then took Hercules' huge hand between his own. "I have been looking for you, my friend," Theseus said, and despite everything in that moment, Hercules felt a faint ray of hope. Theseus went on, "I know you did not do those dreadful things on purpose. Come with me to Athens, where the people care more for true justice." By helping Hercules, Theseus was risking his crown and his entire way of life. Fortunately, the Athenians so completely trusted his wisdom and honor that they welcomed Hercules among them. Still, the huge man felt sad for what he had done. Theseus told him, "You will never be free of the past until you have worked away your guilt and mastered your temper and your great strength. Go ask Apollo, the god of wisdom and truth, how to do these things. And remember always, you have a friend who believes in you." "Thank you," replied Hercules. "You have taught me that there are more kinds of courage than I ever knew. One must be brave to face a monster, but braver still to do what is right when all are against you." So Hercules set out once more, never guessing that his most remarkable adventures and his greatest glory still lay before him. So, what did y'all think about that?
Good.
It was good? Okay. So why didn't they want to be around Hercules? Dominic?
Because they thought he was a monster.
They thought he was a monster. What was his, I don't want to call him powers, but what was he capable of doing? What was he capable of doing, Sailor?
When he could change rivers, the way that rivers are going.
He could change the flow of water.
And he can kill beasts.
And he can kill beasts, yes. Okay, so we're going to answer a couple of questions together, and then we will be done. So, who is the hero in this Greek myth? Who do we think the hero is? Matter of fact, I want you to write your answer on the board. Who do we think the hero is in this Greek myth? So we talked about two people, Theseus and Hercules. Out of those two people, who were the heroes?
KJ.
Or who was the hero?
It was for Carson.
KJ. Hercules was Hercules. Hercules. Alright, so everybody, I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. 10. Just, you know what? Just spell it the best you can. I believe you. I don't know who we're talking about. Alright, hold up your boards. Who do we think that the Greek hero was in this? Hercules. Okay. So, Hercules and Theseus for being Hercules' friends. Y'all forgot about him. Remember, he didn't have any friends. He didn't have any friends, so Theseus was one of the heroes as well. They were both heroes. Alright, so what kind of good deeds does Hercules perform with his strength? Write it on your board. Remember all the things he could do. He could carve new paths for a river, like Sailor told us. He can defeat monsters, save people in dreadful situations. What type of good deed does he do with his strength? What? That's not good. somebody, raise your hand and say, or show me your board. Let me see. What did you write? He can save people, right? What else did yours say? Kill, okay, kill the monsters. Yup. He can move rivers. Yes, y'all are correct. Alright, we're gonna do 2 more. Why does Hercules sometimes cause a commotion? Why did he sometimes cause a commotion? Remember, people were running away from him, and they didn't want to be his friend anymore. But was it because of, remember one of those vocabulary words? Dreadful. He had something that was very dreadful. What was it? Was he nice or was he mean? It was something that was dreadful about him that the people didn't like. Think about it.
I know what it was.
Write it on your board.
I got it. Because I already got a number. Got mine.
Alright, so Sailor gets it right. Yes, he gets mad. They said his temper was dreadful. They couldn't stand his temper. They didn't like him because of it. He was a great person. He just had a dreadful temper.
So if he got angry, he would destroy the person who got him angry.
Yup, if he got angry, he would destroy what made him mad. Alright, the next one. Alright, so was it appropriate for Hercules to hurt others just because he was angry with them? Answer aloud. Do y'all think that was You're right. Yeah, no, I don't think it was appropriate. But how should he have dealt with his anger? What should he have done? What do you think he should have done?
Be nice.
Be nice, okay? But how do you, so think about yourselves. When you're angry, what is something that calms you down? Walk away, okay? Dominic?
Go punch some trees.
Go punch the tree. But didn't you ask me yesterday because you stepped outside because you were angry, so you cooled down, right? You walked away. All right? Zanaya?
That was not yesterday. Put in your face in the pillow. That was pretty good.
Putting your face in the pillow and scream. Kalia? Say it again. Taking deep breaths. I think that's a really good one. Kennedy?
Going to the gym and punching something.
Going to the gym and punching something. Sailor?
Hugging my puppy as tight as I can.
Hugging your puppy as tight as you can. All right. So, yes, y'all did really well with this today. But, uh-oh. I need your eyes on me. All right. So, y'all did really well with this story today. But I want to go over the 3 vocabulary words one more time. Raise your hand. You remember one. Kaylee. Commotion. Skylar. Dreadful. And Kalia. It started with an A. Aimlessly. Yes, good job. Okay. Well, good job today, guys. Thank y'all for having me. We're just going to do one more thing. All right. So, with the 3 words that we just went over, aimlessly, dreadful, and commotion. Somebody raise your hand. Remind me, what does aimless mean? What does aimless mean? Skylar?
You don't plan it.
All right, yes, you don't plan it. You go into it without a plan. All right, what about commotion, Sailor?
That means it's making a loud stuff and it's doing stuff like that.
Yes, so like the example, the baby was crying. That's a lot of commotion, like a lot of noise.
But
going on.
sometimes it's happy commotion.
Sometimes there is happy commotion. And the last one, dreadful, Neymar, what is dreadful?
That means you're not going to do it.
You're not going to do it. It's something you don't want to do. Remember, Kaylee said her chores are dreadful. That's something she doesn't want to do, but she has to do it. Okay, good job, guys.